Ah, Seattle, where it's always raining, every third building is a Starbucks, there are more pronouns than parking spots, and you have a baseball team that makes the playoffs seemingly as often as a new pope is elected. And you know what? For a second there, I really did feel like this season wouldn't warrant this type of video on the Mariners, a video talking about how disappointing and frustrating they are. For a minute there, I really was like, hold on, this team feels a little different. They're actually hitting the baseballs with their sticks. I said before the season, all this Mariners offense had to be was just be mid-leg Zendaya, and that's a guaranteed playoff team because of how dominant of a pitching staff they have. Be Zendaya. That's the speech the hitters should have gotten during spring training. Be Zendaya, and they've actually been a bit better than that. And I was actually thinking a few weeks back, like, I think I should make a Mariners video that's positive, talking about how really good they've been, just when the offense is actually coming together more than it ever has. The pitching falls off. Oh, come on! Really quick, if you're part of the 51% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as baseball, man, never goes smoothly, ever. The Mariners offense hasn't been elite or anything necessarily, but it's still been very good, especially compared to what it's been the last couple of years. But just in general, like, let's go to individual guys. Cal Raleigh. Dude has become the best catcher in baseball. Not that he wasn't a top one before. He's always had pop. Overall been a really solid hitter and player, but he's taken his hitting to a new level this year. Channeling his inner Ken Griffey Jr. at the time of this video, Cal Raleigh, yes, Cal Raleigh on the Seattle Mariners leads all of baseball in home runs. A catcher hitting in Seattle, or hitting is known to die, is ahead of Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani in home runs. Think about that. It's been ridiculous. J.P. Crawford, one of my favorite players to watch, is doing well with the bat. Is Julio Rodriguez currently the superstar we all expect him to be? No, but he's hitting much better after his ice-cold start. Jorge Polanco's been good. Randy Arozarena, love him. Can't hate that guy. Overall, it's been a very solid offense. An offense that's been carried a little bit by Raleigh, yes, but overall still solid and slightly better than mid. They're 13th in OPS. So what's wrong? Well, I wouldn't say the pitching has been like a complete disaster. It's just fallen off a little bit. And you got to look at some of these individual games to see what's been going wrong. On May 24th, the Mariners were 29-21, 8 games over 500, up 3.5 games over the Houston Astros after beating them 5-3. So it's a 4-game series. The two are playing each other. Astros took game 1, Mariners win game 2. Game 3 was the Mariners just not hitting, losing in a way their fans have become very familiar with the last few years, 2-1. But game 4 was different. They immediately jump ahead 2-0 in the first, make that 3-0 in the third. Luis Castillo on the mound, and he just wasn't great, giving up 9 hits in 6 innings. He wasn't awful. He only gave up 3 runs. You'll take that. He just wasn't that great, but he's not the reason they lost. Casey Legumina comes in the 9th with the game still tied, trying to keep it that way, and he got both hitters he faced to start the inning on 0-2 counts. Seems like a pretty good recipe for success, no? But no, I guess it wasn't. Jose Altuve smacks a base hit, and Christian Walker smacks a home run. Walk off. Astros take 3 of 4 in the series. Now back home, though, Mariners bounce right back against the Nationals. They whoop them 9-1, so you're thinking, okay, they're back on track after a couple close, tough losses in Houston. Well, Nats punched right back in game 2. George Kirby took them out, and the reason why that's notable is Kirby, someone you could argue was the Mariners' best starting pitcher heading into the season, on a staff full of good starting pitchers, had to begin the season on the injured list with right shoulder inflammation. And this is just his second start of the year. His first was in Houston, the first game of that 4-gamer, and he gave up 5 runs. Well, now he gives up 6 runs on 7 hits, 3 of them being home runs. Nationals win 9-0, and it was a pretty similar score with much different context for the series finale. Nationals won this game 9-3 in 10 innings. This game entered the 10th inning, tied at 2, and left the 10th with a score of 9-3 after the Nats put up a 7 spot while the Mariners answered with just 1. Okay, weird loss, random loss, stuff like that doesn't really happen often. Only often enough for pretty much the same thing to happen the next night, just in an even more grueling way. The Mariners were up by 3 runs in the 9th inning against the Twins, and Andres Munoz was on the mound, a man who had yet to give up a single run this entire season. His ERA was literally 0. He was as perfect as you can be, but because I made a video about him and how perfect he was just days before this, he of course now had to blow it, and in the most obnoxious way imaginable. A 1-run blown save would be one thing, but no, how about 3 runs and all with 2 outs? He was about to get out of this too. After a leadoff base hit, Munoz gets 2 straight strikeouts before Willie Castro sends one into the right field seats for a 2-run shot. Even in this moment, the Mariners were still up 1 with 2 outs and nobody on base. Well, then Byron Buxton singles. Then Byron Buxton steals second base. base, then Byron Buxton scores on a base hit. Game goes to the 10th inning, and the Twins put up 6 runs to win in a blowout score in 10 innings. I'm still shocked the way these next 2 games ended for Seattle, considering how it's been since, which you'll see in a minute. But after that disaster of a loss in Game 1, the Mariners clutched up the next 2 nights and won the series, walking off each game. The Twins didn't go down without a fight. Every single game in this series featured the Twins trailing in the 9th inning and then tying it. I guess after the ridiculous comeback and 9 runs scored in the 9th and 10th innings combined that Friday, the baseball gods had to even things out with a couple Mariner wins. But Mariner wins have been a very rare sight lately. Next up, the Orioles coming to town, who have not been good this year. Like, they suck compared to what we expected of them. Yet, how did this series go? Orioles won all of them. Mariners lose the first game 5-1, wasn't all that close, but the next 2 games were. They were both 1-run games. Mariners just couldn't come through like they somehow did in the Twins series. So they lose every single game at home against the last place Orioles to end a 9-game homestand. Not ideal. Well, now off to Anaheim to start a road trip, and the Angels have been better than the Orioles this year, but they're still the Angels. They're not that great. Mariners should take advantage of these games, and they did. For one of them, barely. It took George Kirby pitching the literal game of his life in just his 4th start of the season for the Mariners to squeak out a single 1-run win and avoid a sweep against the Angels. Kirby struck out 14 hitters in this game. 14! So, safe to say he's feeling himself again, but what a weird game. The Mariners got 11 hits in this game, while the Angels got just 2 hits the entire game. The final score is 3-2. That's insane. Either way, it was an overall disappointing series for the Mariners because they lost 2 of 3. Well, come to find out, it was a great series compared to what ended up taking place in Arizona. Emerson Hancock has a name that can easily be made into jokes, but credit to him, he's been pitching well enough for me to not make a joke here. He did pretty well in this first game, especially after giving up a home run on the first pitch he threw. The issue mostly was the hitting. Up until the 9th inning with 2 outs, the Mariners were scoreless. They were also down 4-0, and then somehow, someway, with 2 outs, they put up 4 runs, and every single one of these big hits came with 2 strikes. It made no sense. Base hit to score run number 1, then another base hit to score run number 2, then Dominic Canzone in his first game back since April 9th. 2-run bomb to tie it. Like, what is happening? And then JP Crawford and Julio Rodriguez follow this up with 2 singles. Like, come on, what is this? And I guess it really was just a glitch in the game. The servers bugged out for a second because the Mariners didn't get a single hit after this. 7 straight Mariners walk up to the plate to get out before the D-bags finally call game in the 11th. They needed only 1 run to win, but Josh Naylor said why the hell not and hits one out with the bases loaded. That 9th inning ended up being the only excitement for the Mariners this entire series. The rest was just plain misery. D-bags offense just went off, scoring 10 runs in Game 2. Mariners reliever Trent Thornton gave up 5 of them in 1 inning. Yeah, that'll do it. D-bags win 10-3. Then Mariners had a 2-0 lead in the 5th inning of Game 3. Brian Wu was on the mound. He's been good all year. He strikes out Eugenio Suarez and Pavin Smith right here. They can't do nothing off him. Okay, maybe the Mariners will finally get a win. No, after the 4th inning ended, not many more woos for the Mariners. He gets knocked around for 5 runs in 1 inning. Eugenio Suarez hits a grand slam. Then Pavin Smith smacks one out. It was revenge day at the ballpark. On the first pitch, whack, see ya. Nobody else did anything the rest of the game. Mariners get swept by the D-bags after losing 2 of 3 from the Angels, after getting swept by the Orioles, after losing 2 of 3 from the Nationals, after losing 3 of 4 from the Astros.
I'm gonna kill myself! Wow. I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
I'm not even a Mariners fan, and this is how I feel. Why can't this team be good and reach their potential? Why? And here are the Astros seeing all of this unfold and being like, all right, don't mind if we take this division again. Thanks, y'all. Logan Gilbert has grown into one of the top pitchers in baseball. He keeps getting better, but too bad he's got elbow problems, and he hasn't gotten Tommy John yet. They still plan on him returning and pitching, but we all know how this ends. The Mariners have arguably the strongest pitching staffs in baseball, at least on paper, even though it hasn't been the best this year. It's fallen off a little bit, but it's still really good, and the potential is there. And the offense has been improving. They have the best catcher in baseball, but the more and more all this happens, the injuries, which isn't entirely their fault, but more so the struggles they have putting it all together as a team. The more time goes without much money being invested into this team, the more this opportunity is being wasted of this pretty talented group of guys they have, this core. Still a long way to go, but based off what we've seen with this team the last 2+ years, it's hard to be very confident and much changing. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.